Hey guys, Surgeon Devil. No different view. I kind of like this view a little bit better because it's easier for me to look down at the computer or well, my phone. I tried on my laptop, it's not going to work. I haven't pulled out the camera yet because I'm saving that for different vlogs and stuff. Let me try to straighten this up a little bit here. Okay, so a disclaimer at the beginning of this video. Some language will be used in this video that's kind of strong. It may be disturbing for some ears, and maybe some trigger warnings, you know. Usually I don't do this, but it's going to be pretty intense video in some aspects. This is basically my 600-pound life, my story. As you know, in my 600-pound life, every time there's an episode based off one of the characters or one of the people on that show, they do an opening credit. It's like 20 minutes of the show, and what they do is they talk about a lot of their life and what led to it. Now I know some aspects of my life I've lived on here, and some I haven't. This is everything. So, as you know, I am Third Gen Devil. The reason why my nickname on here is Third Gen Devil is I'm a third generation human being from the family. And I was born in 1986. I'm 33 years old, and I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. I was born I was born in Baltimore, Maryland. Lived there for about 6-7 years. You know, not a lot of the childhood I remember. A lot of my childhood I remember was pretty bad in that time frame, in that aspect. We were poor. No, I watched my grandfather die. He had a massive heart attack. And then after he passed away, my grandmother moved to West Virginia. And that's how William is here, but I'll talk about that later. We moved to what's called Brooklyn. Now people are like, well, Brooklyn, New York, not Brooklyn, Maryland. It's like a little inner city suburb, kind of like how you have Huntington, Barbersville, Street, and stuff like that. You know. Now, we grew up poor. No, I grew up poor in this aspect with this. We moved into a big housing complex that was income-based, and if you didn't have income, you basically lived there for free. And you got free TV, free phone service, free electricity. Rent was pretty much $1 a month, kind of like how some places are now. And you know, I didn't know really about what was going on. I do know there was one time a pack of hot dogs lasted me a week. That was my food. When I was getting hungry, my mom would go in, cut a hot dog in threes, and that was my food. That was my breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Piece of hot dog sometimes. I'm not saying my mom was a bad mom. She was nowhere like sounds bad mom. She always made sure I had some kind of food. And sometimes, at the time, her boyfriend, who later became my stepdad, he would go scrap and stuff like that. Now, there was this one grocery store, and not a lot of people knew about this, but they had a buggy. They had a deal. It was at first, it was like the first Saturday and the first Sunday. It was the first Saturday of the odd months and the first Sunday of even months that they would hold a sale. Sorry about that. They would hold a sale. $10 or it was $5 or $10. You fill up a buggy and eat your food. And then with these like little buggies, little handheld bags, I mean these were big monstrous buggies like trying to get at Walmart, Kroger, or anything like that. Same code. And there was one time somehow we got like 60 bucks saved up. Now you're only limited to 2 buggies, so 20 bucks. But yeah, it was like $20 for 2 buggies. And like we went in, we stuffed the living fuck out of those buggies. And I would be so excited on these days because I would get cereal, milk, eggs, bread. I mean, I would get all this shit. But we also share with our neighbors too, who kind of less fortunate, but they would also share with us too. But we were poor. We were really poor. But it finally got to the point where we just couldn't live there anymore because we were starving. I was 6 and I was like 15, maybe 20 pounds underweight. And my mom was sick. But big thing that happened with my mom at the time is she got pregnant with a sister of mine. And her name was Heaven. And unfortunately she didn't make it. When Heaven was born, she cried for 2 seconds and then she went quiet. I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know about this until I got older. My mom told me. Now, fast forward to moving here in West Virginia. My grandmother lived up here. And she had been with my grandpa. Well, he was my grandpa in the sense of he married my grandmother, but he was a damn good man. You know, I couldn't think of a better person besides my own blood papa than my grandpa would be him. And moved up here, and it was some of the best times when we first got up here. I mean, there's food. I was sitting there, I think I ate like 4 plates of food, and I ate to where I got sick. I just wanted to go outside and play. When I got to go outside and play, I didn't know what to think because I was able to step outside and not hear gunshots or any bullshit like that. And it was a lot different now. It was a lot different then than it is now. So many more, because there's a lot more businesses, a lot more people living around here, but a lot more drugs, violence, and shit around here too. So, well, we didn't live here in West Virginia very long. We actually moved over to Ohio, and in Ohio, there's a fairgrounds there, and we had a couple of horses. Those were my birthday gifts. I mean, hell, I think it was like my 7th or 8th birthday. I was sick as a dog, but it was still fun. I still got a horse and everything like that. Then, you know, came the difference. My mom started working with my grandfather and my grandmother at a small business on my grandfather's own. So she was gone a lot of the time working, but she was saving up money and everything like that. But she would always, you know, make sure I was fed and everything. But being around my stepdad, it was kind of hard. It was an aspect of, after they got married, he completely changed. He was this great guy. If they got married, he turned to a complete dick, like a complete dick. And it got to the point to where I didn't notice it at first, but he was abusive towards my mom. Like she said, she lost a tooth because she pulled it out. And when I got older, I knew he punched her in the mouth and knocked her out. He would leave me in his pickup truck when it was like 10 degrees outside, being in a warm ass garage with his buddies doing cocaine and whatever else he was doing. And then, in this time, I didn't eat a lot. I really didn't. And if I did eat, I had to eat fast. Like, I could, give you an idea, a Happy Meal from McDonald's, I could eat that in like 2 minutes. I had to, or else I got bitched at for it. I got treated by him. I got treated more like a burden than like a stepson or a kid of his own. So, he would take me places with him, but it was like he wanted me to go play or something. He never wanted me around him. That makes sense. Well, I mean, the first time I really experienced anything like close to death was for like a whole day. I just felt terrible. Like I was having problems staying awake. I was falling asleep everywhere. I was always hot, everything. And then my mom said I don't remember this. My mom told me I was hallucinating. There's dragons on my back. I was laying in the living room floor screaming. They ended up taking me to the emergency room. And at first the doctor thought I was lying because I said everywhere hurt and all this and all that. They finally got my temperature reading. It was like 106. And I was hallucinating because it was so hot. Well, they put me in an ice bath. They chilled me down. And we did x-rays. And come to find out that both of my lungs were completely full of fluid. I had a double lung bacterial pneumonia infection. Or something, I think that's what it's called. Well, I was in hospital for almost 2 weeks with this because I had to get the shit out of my lungs. And it was starting to get out of my lungs. I would cough to where I couldn't breathe. I cried because I was scared. And then shit was coming out of my lungs. It was blood. It was black. It was green. It was just bad. It was very, very bad. Then after I got out of the hospital, I had slept for 3 days straight without really waking up. And then after that, if I got sick, it was instant medicine, all this and everything like that. So now kind of when I get sick, I just kind of do like, whatever, take some medicine and go on about my day. And then this is like the disclaimer I made at the beginning of the video. This is when it started getting really bad with my stepdad. One day, I don't know what really happened. I never even really got the story from my mom, but he snapped and tried to beat the hell out of her. And we called the cops on him, and he bolted for Maryland for like 3 months. And one day, me and my mom were driving, pulling into our driveway, and there he was sitting in his truck, and he comes chasing us down to talk. Well, my mom said, okay, whatever, but you're sleeping in your truck. Don't think I'm just allow you in the house. Well, one night she finally let him in the house so they could talk, and next thing I know, she was screaming. He had her pinned down on the couch, and I got finally tired of it. I took picked up a baseball bat, a aluminum baseball bat, and I hit him as hard as I could. And we ran out the door. Well, he went to counseling for like anger or drugs or something. I don't really remember the gist of it. And then one day he went and got food. And this is when it gets interesting. This is the bad part. I was walking to go to the bathroom, and how it was set up in a trailer, we had a big couch. Okay, so like here's the doorway to go to the bathroom. We had a big couch along the wall here. We had a chase right here, and he always sat in the chase or whatever. And he had a bag of food right there. And I was trying to walk around it. I accidentally stepped on it, and I crushed a French fry I missed the french fry. And he saw that. He jumped up, yelled at me, called me stupid and stuff like that. Grabbed me by my neck and threw me down to the ground. Then he proceeded to beat the royal shit out of me. And I'm not talking with God. He's 5'10", about 275 pounds. I'm about 4'11", 5 foot tall, about 100 pounds. And he's kicking the dog shit out of me. And by the time he was done, I guess he was finally done, he left. He left me there. I had a bruised lung, punctured lung, broken ribs. I had bruises on my neck. I had a concussion. I had a small skull fracture. I was bleeding from my ear, my eye, my mouth, my nose. He had broke a finger, and I had bruising, contusions all down my spine. And I was pissing blood. So, and I had bruising on my back of my legs from where he was stomping on me. And he left. He left me for dead, basically. My mom showed up a couple hours later because I kept hearing the phone ring, but I couldn't get to it. I was in the water. I just couldn't move. And my mom finally walked through the door. I remember the scream that came out of her mouth. I'll never forget it. And they rushed me to the hospital. I was in the hospital for like a month. They tried to find this motherfucker for what he'd done. Couldn't find him nowhere. Nobody was giving him up. His friends wouldn't tell him up. And then we moved to Leon, West Virginia with my grandmother and my grandfather. And one day, this white pickup truck shows up, and here he comes. Now it's supposed to be like meat delivery or whatever, but he was with me. And he walked into the door. He stood in the middle of the living room, and my grandmother, crazy as she was, pulled her pistol out, put it in his mouth, and told him if he so much as looked at my way, he's gonna blow her. She was gonna blow his head off. And he said, "Oh, it's not loaded." She pulled it out, shot beside his foot, put it back in his mouth, and dared him to do anything. Last time he ever showed up. Needless to say. Now, in the time frame of living in Leon, unfortunately my grandmother passed away. One morning my mom woke up crying and screaming, saying that my grandmother had passed away in her sleep. Yeah, it kind of tore everything apart after she passed away. And Grandpa stayed with us. He made sure we were taken care of. If we needed anything, he made sure we had it. But he made sure we were well taken care of. But it came to the point to where, eventually had to go out on our own. And because they sold the house and everything, land that we lived on and everything, so we ended up moving in with my aunt and my cousins, which was a fucking disaster. They treated us like utter dog shit. Like we were burdens and we were their housemaids and everything. Living in Leon, I forgot about this. My cousins that we had moved in with before we moved in with them, they came to visit us. One of them was like 6